Alright guys, this week is a make or break point for XRP, for Bitcoin, in fact just the crypto markets in general. It's a make or break point even for my mental stress given all the construction around me. I'm sorry for the ambient noise. We got some good news and well, some not so great news. But in either case, there's plenty of opportunity for those of you paying attention. And speaking of opportunity guys, we just did a $1,000 giveaway in the last live stream. Now we intend on doing more $1,000 giveaways, so make sure you guys are tuning in for the live streams to participate. And no, it doesn't matter if you already got the free $400 from the BitUnix bonus. That is independent of this giveaway. Now more on that later, but I want you guys to keep this in mind because it's usually in phases like this where this kind of free money matters. Now let's start with what's hinting at the break. Now according to Willy Woo, who's got some excellent data on Bitcoin and the Bitcoin network, speculation is going nuts on Bitcoin at a time where there's plenty of investor profits to take. Now when there's plenty of profits on the table for investors, we know what follows next. Take profit season, which means selling, because to take profit, you gotta sell. Now in the crypto market, selling pressure, especially on Bitcoin, doesn't stay isolated. XRP often feels the ripple effect, no pun intended. In fact, to add to that, XRP whales have already sold 60 million XRP in the last 72 hours. If my math isn't wrong, that should be around $135 million worth of XRP. That's a signal that some of the big boys are actually trimming exposure right now. Now I know you do not want to hear all this bearish stuff, and hey, I am on your side, okay? I'm on your side here, all right? And ultimately, what's always going to work in our favor is this right here. The chart. Because ultimately it's the TA that's going to be the final arbiter. It cuts through opinion, it cuts through narrative. And let's face it, despite the profit taking, both XRP and Bitcoin are holding key bullish structures. The bulls still have the edge here. In fact, XRP is still sitting comfortably over that weekly dynamic support, which lines up with our $2.01 region that we've been harping on about now since November. Additionally, XRP still lives over that 4-day 10 simple moving average. This is what got us bullish in the first place right after the consolidation right here. As soon as price reclaimed that 4-day 10 SMA, we knew that hey, the bulls are likely going to start establishing a trend here. And that is practically what we're doing right now. This is an uptrend, higher highs and higher lows, and the 4-day 10 SMA has been clutch because it was the initial break of the 4-day that told us that hey, this is likely coming down further, brace yourselves. It's a part of what held up that macro bullish trend, and currently we're still living over it, but it's also why I said this is make or break. This is a critical point in the market because now as an XRP holder, what I want to see is I want to start seeing the bulls step in right here, right now, and defend the 4-day 10 SMA to secure the uptrend that it's currently in. The bulls still have the leading edge here on XRP. I know there's data suggesting that there's selling activity, but you do not jump the gun until the TA gives you the signal, and right now the TA has not given us that. In fact, what it is giving us is opportunity on the chart because we're so close to that weekly dynamic support that's literally held up the entire trend since XRP started ripping right here from 57 cents. In fact, so far the dynamic indicator has kept you on the right side of the trend on every single bull run. And yes, I'm talking about the 2017 bull run as well as that 2021 bull run, which is why this is still going to be the objective system we fall back onto. Now, yes, while we're not currently on that weekly dynamic support, Sean has now come up with a sick feature on the Mango dynamic giving you an objective bid zone. Alright, this essentially tells you when are you safe to buy XRP on the macro timeframes. Because let's face it, a lot of you guys might have 9-to-5s, you'll have families, you have friends, you have a life that you want to get to, and you're not always going to be on the chart to execute on your trades. And what if prices bounce? What happens then? Is it still safe to build your position? Is it still safe to buy some XRP? Well, now this gives you a very objective range in which you can safely buy XRP knowing that it's still going to be a good opportunity. Now this zone comes in from $2.40 going down to $1.89. I say get greedy on the bid. Price looks like it wants to tap that dynamic cloud once more. The dynamic range comes in at 214 down to 204. For those of you who have heavy positions in XRP, I definitely suggest checking out the dynamic. It's gotten that much more powerful now that we have the new feature. But the play that I'm looking for right now is a tap on the dynamic zone and a bounce right off of that, because at that point we'd be actually putting in a beautiful, beautiful bullish structure, which is this right here. If you're not sure what bullish structure this is, then make sure you're hitting the sub, because I'm going to be bringing this up in the next XRP analysis. Guys, when the trend begins, very rarely do you get opportunities on cyclical levels of support. Now, honestly, for those of you who managed to catch that $400 free BitUnix bonus, this is a good time to be putting that to work. Every major asset right now is testing critical supports. And it's in moments like this where that extra capital goes a long way. For those of you who want to get the bonus, check out the link in the description below to BitUnix. You're literally given $400 free for a 2K deposit, but you gotta go through the link to make sure you get the bonus. So here's the story. Whales are taking profit, retail's a tad nervous, but structure says the bulls still have the edge. So let the TA guide you, wait for the bids, use your objective tools, and trade stress-free. Now, if you guys want to keep up with the XRP story, make sure you're hitting the sub and the bell icon. I will now see you in the Discord chat. With this, trade safely, trade stress-free, trade the mango way, trade the easy way. Ciao, you guys.